Um, Good morning. My name is Session Inder Gajay. I am studying computer science at UP, and I think I'm here because I got 8 distinctions.
I'm here because of my hard work and the 8 distinctions I got in the trick.
Hi everyone, I'm Tia Haswell. I'm doing a Bachelor of Social
Good morning.
Sciences
My name
in
is
PBE,
Session
which is
Inder
Politics,
Gajay.
Philosophy and
I am
Economics.
studying computer science at UP.
And I think why I'm
Good
here
morning.
is not
My name
necessarily
is
because of how
Session
many
Inder
distinctions I
Gajay.
got, but
I am
because of
studying computer science
how
at
hard I
UP,
worked and how
and I
passionate I
think I'm
was
here because I
in what
got
I
8
was doing.
distinctions.
Hi everyone, I'm Tia Haswell. I'm doing a Bachelor of
Good
Social
morning.
Sciences.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pumela Marini. I'm from Ermelo, but I study in
Good morning. My name is
I'm
Session
studying
Inder
BCom
Gajay.
Financial Sciences here at the
Studying
University of
computer
Pretoria.
science at UP.
And yeah, I think what got me here is just as
Session
everyone else
Inder
has said,
Gajay.
the number of distinctions, the hard work, and the passion that I had in the trip.
Hi everyone, I'm Tia Haswell. I'm doing a Bachelor of Social Sciences.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pumela Marini.
Good morning
I'm
everyone.
from Ermelo.
My name
I'm
is
studying
Nadia Moshe. I'm from
I'm studying BCom Financial Sciences here at the
studying
University of
medicine
Pretoria.
at the University of
And yeah, I
Pretoria.
think what
And
got
I
me
think
here
what got
is
me
just
here
as
again,
everyone else
like
has
what
said,
I said,
the number of
there's hard
distinctions,
work,
the
there's
hard work, and the
dedication,
passion that I had.
perseverance. I also got 7 out of 7 distinctions. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chancellor. I'm originally from Northwest African, and I'm studying veterinary science at the University of Pretoria. And like everyone else has said, I also achieved seven distinctions, and we're all, I think, the top scholars in our school. And I think it's consistency and dedication that has brought us here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chelsea Peacock. I'm originally from Northwest African, and I'm studying veterinary science at the University of Pretoria. And like everyone else has said, my name is Chiafuna Malanga. I'm from Seshego in Polokwane. I'm now studying medicine in Kenya. I think the reason why I'm here is because I worked hard in my matric year. I managed to get 7 distinctions as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Mark Now. I'm from Pretoria. I'm studying actuarial science this year at UP. I think what got me also I achieved 8 distinctions and my passion for sports as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Zia Hassan from Centurion, Pretoria. I again am studying actuarial science here at the University of Pretoria. And what I felt got me here was also 7 distinctions, but also I was fortunate to be ranked third for independent schools in Auckland.
Science this year at UP. I think what got me also I achieved 8 distinctions and my passion for sports as well.
Good morning, my name is Jamie Robbie.
Hi everyone, my name is Zia Hassan from
Presently I'm studying
Pretoria.
mechanical engineering
I
at the
again am
University
studying
of
actuarial
Pretoria.
science here at the
I
University of
believe that
Pretoria.
I am
And
here
what I felt
because
got me
I
here
managed
was
to
also
get
7
6 out of 6
distinctions, but also I
distinctions
was
and
fortunate
clients
to
for
be
the
ranked
failures.
third for independent schools in Auckland.
Right, the two ladies that are going to introduce themselves, you will hear about her a bit later. She's a very good friend of the city, and you understand why. MMC, you can see that in South Africa we've got a lot of talent. There are a lot of kids like these across the country. Kids whom we believe in the very near future they will plow back their skills. We heard that we've got engineers, we've got veterinarians that are coming, we've got actual science and scientists that are going to be graduating in the next few years, that are going to be plowing back their intellectual property into various streams of our society. You have a huge responsibility, man, of encouraging persons like this to plow back their knowledge into our communities to rebuild our society. We have a huge challenge in South Africa. You probably picked that up yesterday from the soil. The challenges of electricity, the challenges of infrastructure, the challenges of health, and many others. So we need all the brains available to be able to tackle all of those challenges. I normally say, City of Tshwane employs very clever people, but not all the clever people are in the City of Tshwane. Some of them are in the university, some of them are working in the industry. So when we collaborate through programs like this, we are able to exchange ideas to make South Africa a better place. One day, when it's so current, we want your kids to live in a better South Africa. So we want you to use your wisdom intelligence and cloud-led in our country. On that note, I would like to invite MMC Chancellor Brigid Brain, who is the MMC for Community and Social Development, leading the portfolio of youth development unit. Let's give a huge round of applause. One is so current, so we want you to use your intelligence to cloud-led in our country. On that note, I would like to invite MMC Chancellor Brigid Brain, who is the MMC for Community and Social Development, leading the portfolio of youth development unit. Let's give a huge round of applause. One is so current, so we want you to use your intelligence to cloud-led in our country. On that note,
and our beneficiaries, Mr. Pasitali Solang, and Alisa Machaka, all our awardees, City of Tshwane officials, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Kuyemore, Melang, Sanbonani, Absheni, I'm very emotional right now. Young men and women in Chaka have all achieved so much with all the challenges we've been facing as a country. I mean, you can imagine what happened in the past 3 years when we had COVID and all the challenges, but we soldiered on. I is the result. As a teacher, I know how difficult it is for a student or a learner to get certain distinctions. Achieving those distinctions, it takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of focus. And it simply shows that all you did was focus on your studies and forget about everything else. I'm so proud of you. Like I said, as a parent and a teacher, as I'm a teacher by profession, I know what it takes for one year to achieve what you've achieved. And I'm so proud of you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah, it is true that to achieve what we've achieved, it takes a lot of, a number of things. I know that you invested a lot of time. We had no life. And I always told my greatest students or learners that you're not supposed to have a life. By life, I mean not literally. Obviously, you do have a life. You're living your life. But you're not going to enjoy all the other things other people enjoy. Because you know what it is you want. And the journey is not over. It has actually started. You're now in UP, one of the institutions we actually respect. I respect. And, to be honest, I feel honored to be standing here in front of you. Because I could not achieve how could what you achieve when I was in grade 12. But back then, yeah, it was just trial and error, and there was no motivation. Like today, you get motivation from, all corners. I'm so proud of you, and I wish you well. I wish you so much, I wish we could just continue. University life is not easy, but challenges, there'll be temptations. Pray as much as you can. I'm sorry that I'm opposing Christianity. Yeah, it was just trial and error. And you're not a Christian, but anyway, I hope that do whatever it takes. Apply whatever religion you belong to, but remember that you need support. When you need support, pray for safety. We know what happens in the institutions these days. Pay attention to your mental health. It's very important. Shout if you feel you need help. Mental health is very important. We can never function if we don't pay attention to our mental health. It's also important that you make sure that you're not overwhelmed by university life, the books and everything, being away from home. Some of you were maybe with your parents for as long as you can remember, and now you're on your own. Be responsible for your actions, because those decisions you're going to make will determine where you go. It's very important. So we should never function, the best. I wish you well, and I'm hoping to meet you in 4 or 5 years' time when we get to celebrate once again to say, here are our days, and this is what we've achieved. Let me get to my speech. Be responsible for your actions. Being awarded this prestigious accolade is consistent with the city's value proposition, igniting excellence. The City of Tshwane is honored and delighted to host you and hope that you will take away the experience from this engagement to lead change and positively influence other young people in your respective fields of interest. Let me get to my speech. Tshwane also has a youthful population, which constitutes most of the population, and there are numerous institutions of higher learning and socio-economic opportunities which must be explored to develop and empower young people. And I must say once again that you are in one of our best institutions in engagement to change Pretoria, influence other young people in your respect. And as I was listening to you, you talked to yourself some of you say that you science and humans. So exciting, so exciting, we're so proud of you. And it's clear that our country is in good hands because you are the future. We're looking forward to you to make sure that you turn things around in this country. So we're looking at economists. We're looking at people who will make sure that there's no load shedding. Eh? Are the engineers here? Yes. Engineers, you have a big task ahead of you. To this end, the City of Tshwane has the responsibility of engaging with youth stakeholders to obtain and consolidate their views. Furthermore, the City of Tshwane, through the Youth Development Unit in the Social Development and Strategic Interest Group Division, is strategically located to advise on matters related to youth development and empowerment. The YDU derives its mandate from the approved bylaw on the establishment of the YDU, which was approved by Council in August 2007. The mandate of the YDU includes lobbying, advocating, and mainstreaming young people in Tshwane. The City of Tshwane's strategic program is to develop and grow City of Tshwane into a successful city where residents can enjoy a good quality of life. The Youth Development Unit represents an important sector in society, the youth, which was approved by Council. This youth population is afflicted by many challenges, including high unemployment rates, drug and substance abuse, HIV and AIDS, inequality based on gender, age, and sexual orientation, the challenge of affording access to education, and challenges to enter the economic mainstream. However, young people have a pivotal role in building a developmental local government system such as the City of Tshwane. Through the contribution of the YDU in mobilizing young people, participating in governance programs, as well as promoting youth interaction with city departments and other spheres of government, you have an added advantage to take up space and be the leaders that drive change, that build opportunities for the generations to come. I stand here as the MNC in the Community and Social Development Services Department and as a champion of youth development in the city to encourage you to continue excelling in all you do. Remember that the world is your oyster and the sky is not the limit, not anymore. It shouldn't be. Take up opportunities, take up civil responsibility, and make it a change. You know, the great Mahatma Gandhi used to say, be the change you want to see. And as a champion of youth, do not ask who brought up the change, be part of the change. Excelling in all you do. Remember that the world is your oyster. Use this opportunity to interact with the office and always work alongside the unit to advance opportunities to develop. Take up civil responsibility. The city has ample opportunities. Through the Tshwane Leadership and Management Academy, we offer bursaries, internships, learnerships, and apprenticeship programs for young people, and we hope to bring in young people to resolve the challenges of local government as a core phase of service delivery in the country. Our Economic Development Department also offers opportunities for young people in the entrepreneurship field, and we also have the Research and Innovation Unit, which is constantly in search of innovative ideas to resolve the challenges of service delivery. The city stands to gain positively in having programs of this nature as we continue with our endeavor to bring youth development into our communities. Thank you so much.
Another huge round of applause for MMC Peggy de Brain. right. Just to check our attention span. Yeah? That's going to do a bit of a quiz. MMC highlighted a few things in her speech. She mentioned about some of the challenges that are facing young people in South Africa to date. Could you just name one or two of them? Chancellor, what's your name by the way? Chancellor Chancellor. Just to check unemployment. Yes, what was another one? Chancellor Sitona. Sorry. MMC highlighted a few things in her speech. She mentioned some of the challenges that are facing young people. You're on the board. Let me see if there's another councillor who was paying attention. What is another challenge that is facing young people in South Africa? Yes. Just to check employment. Yes. What is another one? She also mentioned a few things in her opening remarks. You know, like a parent who was speaking to her beloved children. She said, "You are starting a new journey where there will be temptations. I know them. Hey, I was once in your shoes and I was tempted by a lot of things." She said, "Do pay attention to your mental health. This is one of the things that we often ignore as young people when we go to university, because the environment is completely different from high school. You'll be under pressure because of various things, whether it's friends, whether exposure to things that you didn't know about when you were still in high school." But she said, most important, she said, "Do find a corner, find time to pray, you understand? Find time to get in touch with your divine being, and then speak to that being and allow it to help you through." So these are the kind words coming from a leader in our community, a leader who's also a mother to you. Let us give her a huge round of applause again. Great stuff. So now we're going to come to the most exciting part of the program. Not that this one wasn't. This was very important. I'm going to ask a friend of the city. Her name is Palisa Machaka. Very young lady that we met when she was still very young in high school. She came through one of our strategic youth innovation programs, which was called the Youth Fab Lab. So she will tell us about a journey, being part of that program, and what happened when she was still a student, being enrolled in the program, and what she has done since she left the program. Let's give Palisa a huge round of applause. Another one. Yes, she's ascending. You know, when I was still in high school, the only distinctions that I ever got was food tasting. So she will tell us about it, and I believe in testimony of my performance in that faculty.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Palisa Machak. I'm not so much of a podium presentation director, but I will try for the sake of the street and everybody. I would like to observe all protocol, Madam MMC. Thank you so much for having joined us today. I would like to greet all my fellow speakers today. Pater, thank you so much, Mr. Director, for having me today. To the awardees, hello. My name is Palisa, as I was mentioned. I am a beneficiary of the City of Tshwane program. I'm going to tell you a bit about my journey and how I got here. But first, before I do that, maybe let me introduce myself further. I am an honors degree graduate from VIS. I did my honors in quantity surveying. So right now I practice as a qualified quantity surveyor. I am an author of a book called Little Money in Kids. It's a financial literacy book for children. So I'm trying to tap into the finance industry to teach children about money and normalize having conversations about money with children. Right now also, I am a founder and managing director of a company called Machinery Civil. It's a civil construction company. So I have a construction background. So right now I run a civil construction company. So I'm trying to tap into the finance. So, Madam MMC, I'm highlighting all of these things because I'm trying to tell you that the work that you are doing
Mr. Director Temple, you are doing such an amazing work in the city. And I was part of the program. When was this? It was a long time ago. It was in 2014, 15. So it's been quite a journey, almost a decade now. Yes? So I joined the program when I was in grade 10. I'll tell you a very interesting story about a teacher who made me join the program. So I used to think of myself as, oh no, I'm an academic, I'm going to study, and you know, I want to do a PhD. I'm still going to get my PhD, but through the program that the city has introduced me to, I now find myself as an entrepreneur. So when I joined the program, we used to attend the program every Thursday and Saturday over the weekend. They would teach us about entrepreneurship. They taught me a lot of things. For me to be able to confidently speak in front of people was because I had the platform at the program. You know, for me to, you know, be obsessed about wanting to be a full-time entrepreneur, then it's because of the program. For me to know about a simple thing, I remember there was one thing that I've learned that I apply now also. They used to teach us about a lot of things. I remember they taught me how to make my first ever mobile application. Remember we used to collaborate with Geek Culture? Yes. So they taught us about that. I know how to make my own application now because of the city, because of the program. So I remember they used to teach us a lot of things. But I'm just trying to highlight the fact that for you guys to be here is such a privilege. And I'm not saying you should be like me, but I am saying though that you could find yourself even, you know, way better than me. So apart from the work that the city is doing, I just want to share a piece of motivation, maybe a little bit. And so I've been reading the book called The Alchemist. I'm sure everybody knows The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, right? So Paulo tells us about the 4 things that are obstacles to our success in general as human beings. So one, he mentions that when we are children, our dreams are very vivid. When you were a child, you had a dream of wanting to be a mechanical engineer or being a finance analyst, whatever the career path you want to follow. When you were a child, it was very, very vivid and clear. But as we grow and we experience challenges and, you know, it's just sort of, the vision gets distorted a little bit. And Paulo tells us that every time, so this is me telling you that the whole time you are in varsity, whether it's a first year, whether next year in your second year, whether in your honors year, you must always listen to a voice inside of you. There is always a child inside of you that knows exactly what needs to happen. If you are doing mechanical engineering this year and something weird happens maybe in the next 2 years, you feel like, oh my gosh, you know what, I don't want to be a mechanical engineer anymore, I want to be an actual scientist. If that little boy or girl inside of you says that, best believe you have to follow that, because that girl or boy inside of you always has the answers. That boy or girl inside of me, the little girl inside of me, always had answers. I never knew what I wanted to do in my life, but for some weird reason, that little Palisa inside of me, or Anna, always knows how to navigate through life. The second thing is love, right? Tato, I practice now as a full-time entrepreneur. I run my own company at a very ripe age of 24. I manage a lot of men in the company, and I practice in the construction field, so you would understand that it's a very male-dominated industry. But for some weird reason, I find myself knowing how to do it. Now, when Paulo said love is an obstacle, he meant that my mom is very mad at me because after I finished my degree in May, I got a job. I was working as an engineer quantity surveyor for WHO. And a year after I worked for WHO, I left the company. My mom was like, "Are you mad? Why would you leave the company?" Now, when Paulo had a very good car you know what, I don't want to do this degree anymore, or I want to venture into entrepreneurship. If the little girl or boy inside of you says he wants to do it, best believe go ahead and do it, even if it means hurting the people you love, because later on it will make sense. Lastly, another obstacle is fear. Fear of failing in your dreams. Right now, I'm sure there's a lot of fear that's in you guys. A fear of failing. I failed my first year, by the way, when I was in university. I was afraid of failing, but after I failed my first year, I noticed, guys, it's possible. You know, the fear of failure and the fear of realizing your dreams. So it's possible that you haven't realized your dreams yet. And because a lot of people don't have enough strength and courage to realize the dreams around them, we sort of feel guilty every time we don't tackle that. So with those few words, I'd like to say, guys, the fear of failure and the fear of realizing your dreams.
I'll step there for a moment. Fellow councillors, do you have questions for Palisa? Does one have an itchy, need to ask the question? Okay, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, after you failed your first year, how did you find motivation to carry on?
It was such an interesting journey because, oh my gosh, I don't know, Madam MMC, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to share the other details because they're quite personal, but for the sake of motivation, I'll do it. When I was in my first year, I failed. I repeated my first year, and in that failure of my first year, I fell pregnant. I had a child. So you can imagine, I had a bursary. I was funded by Mazipa Foundation, and then the bursary took away the funding. So I had no funding, had a baby. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to share the other details because they're quite personal. I think a little girl inside of me knew that I had a lot of people to fail. There was Tato who was looking at me on some, no, I can't fail. So Madam MMC is gonna be, Stipa is gonna, no, I had to do it. But I think more than anything, the drive to succeed and knowing where you want to be in life, this journey keeps me motivated. I think also my family keeps me motivated because there is a concept called, I don't even know, there's a concept called the first. The first means you are the first to do a lot of things in your family. In my family, I'm the first person to do pretty much everything. The first person to ever drive. I didn't get 7 distinctions like you don't, but I just got 2. But, you know, first person to ever get distinctions, first person to ever get admitted in a university. Worst, I gotta make it admit. First person to ever get a bursary, first person to get a license, first person to get basically everything. So the fact that I was the first, I knew I had to make it. So that was the message.
Before you go, I would like you to go and join Moromeo and receive your gift in appreciation for your time. Once again, let's give Palisa a round of applause, colleagues. One of the most, when we met Palisa, she was knee-high. And when she was speaking, honestly, I couldn't help myself but marvel at the journey that she has traveled. If I remember well, she's from Ribani Laka. Yeah, there's a high school in Mamelodi called Ribani Laka. She's from that high school. There are a lot of Palisas like her. The program that we launched, MC, was called the Youth Lab Lab. And it brought to life people like Palisa and many others. It gave them an opportunity to look at alternatives that are there. My parents thought I was going to be a preacher. Yeah, so I didn't get to be a preacher. But I'm preaching now, isn't it? So at least I fulfilled something on their wish. I think Pasika would also talk about a similar journey about parents or relatives questioning some of the decisions that they would make about the choices that they would have assumed pursue. Yeah, but opted to go west instead of east. And you left conversation we had with him about 2 years or 3 years ago. He looked at the city and said, this is the most innovative square mile in South Africa, simply because of the number of universities around, the number of research institutions around. There's a lot of intellectual capital that is resident here. So you are not here by mistake. Tato will talk briefly about some of the youth programs that we hope we will see you being part of, similar to what Vanessa was enrolled in. Right, without wasting time, I'm going to call upon another friend of the city. His name is Mr. Paseka Lisolang. He's got a very long CV of very interesting things that he has achieved. He's a multi-award winner. I was at an event last year, which is a Technology Top 100 awards. He cleaned the whole event. We had to call backup to help him carry all the trophies. That's how good his technology is. He's an inventor. He's the first inventor I've had the privilege of knowing. So I can go out and say I know his inventors. So Paseka is a very young gentleman from the city of Pretoria. He will share his story as well about who he is and what kind of business is in and what is it that he's achieved thus far. Hoping that it's going to be an equally inspiring story. Thank you for his technologies. He's an inventor. He's the first inventor I've had the privilege of knowing. So I can go out and say I know his inventors. So Paseka is a very young gentleman from the city of Pretoria. He will share his story as well about who he is and
I have a very long story.
what is it that he's achieved thus far.
In respect of all the other guests that are here, I would like to greet everybody by name, actually, to show some humility. However, in the interest of time, may I please proceed? I was told that I'm not audible. Am I audible enough? It looks like it's on. All right, so maybe I'll just project a bit more. As mentioned, my name is Paseka Lesolang. I am an innovator and an entrepreneur, as mentioned. I have a story that I'd like to share with you, and I'll be brief. If permitted time, I will allow questions. Once upon a time, I was seated in my grandmother's house in Harangua, which is a township northwest from here, and I heard this annoying hissing sound coming from the toilet. I approached the toilet and I closed the tap that leads the water into the kitchen, so the sound stopped. So logic prevailed that it's this sound causing, it's this water causing the sound. But why doesn't it stop automatically? I asked myself. Now, considering my grandparents' financial constraints, getting a plumber was not an option, so I had to apply myself. I have a business background, by the way, which I'll maybe touch upon later. So I had no engineering background, but I knew that this problem requires some technical insight. So I did some online research and offline research, and I came across what they call a leak detection test. If you take food coloring and you pour it into the system, after a few seconds, if the colored water starts flowing down the pan, it's a clear indication that you have a leak. Further on to the research, I found out that if your toilet is leaking, it's leaking anything between 30 to 700 liters of water a day. That's equivalent to 7 bathtubs full of water. So if you extrapolate that over the year, that's like 250,000 liters of water per year, as proven by rainwater. Now, this being said, I noticed that this is a silent search problem, because everyone I encountered and asked about this hissing sound, they were so used to it, they thought it's part of the toilet design. So I thought to myself, what about 10 houses, the community, the city, the province, the country? As I was doing the research, I also found out that we as a country are losing over 10 billion rand due to non-regulated water. And our city is subject to correction, losing around about 10% of that. So this is a serious problem. Instead of complaining about it, I decided to apply my mind. I sketched a rough solution of how this could be solved. Lo and behold, to my surprise, it was an invention. I was interviewed on a national radio station after quite a pillar to post journey. And I got calls as far as Botswana asking two questions. How much does it cost and where can I get it? And that's when I noticed that, wow, not only can this be my contribution to society, but this could be a business. This was still on sketch, so I had nothing besides this solution that I had on paper. One of the callers told me, you need to protect your idea. I didn't even know that you could protect ideas. And he called me offline, he introduced me to Han and Han, and they told me, young man, we've been looking for such a story. We will sponsor your patent. So that's how I got my first patent. Another one asked me, so young man, where do you operate from? Can you send us a proposal of how much you would charge for this product? I didn't even have a product. So one of the callers decided to sponsor a laptop. Another one sponsored my business registration. And another one then told me, you need to now develop this product. And that's when I was introduced to the SABS Design Institute. When I got there, they told me, you cannot afford our services, go to the Fab Lab. And that's when I was introduced to the Innovation Hub Fab Lab. Lo and behold, it took me 3 months of in and out. I even slept at the innovation at the Fab Lab at a point in time. It took me all that stress and effort to build a demonstrator. This demonstrator was eligible enough for the patent office to grant me the patent. And then I moved over to the Technology Innovation Agency, where I developed a fully functional product. And from that fully functional product, I was able to now demonstrate to the city of Tshwane. The city of Tshwane was kind enough to give me a platform of 1,000 households in Soshanguve, PP2. We managed to train 20 to be certified plumbers. And lo and behold, that project, I'd like to believe, was an incredible success. If we do just a rough impact study of the amount of water we were saving, this was in 2015, mind you, and how much water that could have equated to at this point in time, we could roughly agree on 90 megaliters of water. Not to mention just as financial savings for the city. So from that particular project, I received a letter of recommendation from the city of Tshwane. With that letter of recommendation, I was able to persuade the IDC to grant me a revolving credit facility. I won't mention the amount. All right, yeah. Crime is high. Crime is too high in South Africa. We need to work on that. So, yeah. IDC was so pleased. They gave us a revolving credit facility which gave us the capacity to handle any size project around the country without payment from the client for at least 6 months. We also received the support of SASO, who were running a project of their own, whereby they were training community members on how to identify leaks and replace the current mechanisms in toilets and replace with the same mechanisms but just the new version. So, as you would know, Einstein's definition of insanity, right? Okay. But lo and behold, they didn't know about the leak as well, so we need to give them benefit of the doubt. When I approached Sasol and GIZ about the leak as well, they were so impressed with it. They told me it would be an injustice to put the leakless valve in the project. Mind you, they were tending to 100,000 toilets in Mfuleni municipality. And they were saving approximately 3 million liters of water per month, which was equivalent to 18 million rand, which was they were reinvesting. And when I told them about the leakless valve, they were so impressed. They decided not only to introduce us to such projects, but to also avail the manufacturing capacity for us to service the whole country. Yes. So we are now based at the Sasolburg manufacturing plant with a capacity of 18,000 units per month. And that's just the model that we were supplying the city of Tshwane. We now have another model, which we are now in partnership with one of the leading retailers in the country to commercialize nationwide so that it can be found and stored here. And with that manufacturing capacity, we are at 200,000 units per month. Needless summarizing a very long and hard journey. Yes, I've seen various parts of the world. Not to sound otherwise, but some people ask me, which countries do I still want to visit? I ask, which countries haven't I been to? So I've received multinational awards from the West, from the East. Yeah, I don't want to mention each and every one of them, but the most recent one, as my friend Sipo was mentioning, at the Technology Top 100 companies in South Africa at the ceremony last year, we collected, I think, 5 awards. Without mentioning what they were for, I'd like to just continue with the story. My journey has not been easy. I make it sound easy. I make it sound marvelous. I make it sound that we should all do it. And if you do have what it takes, by all means, please. However, this journey is not for the faint of heart. This journey is not for everyone. My journey has not been. There were days when I didn't even have enough money to attend the meeting, and my grandmother would give me her indigent style. There were days when I didn't know how I was even going to send an email. And what I would do is I would just compose the email, bulk, and I would gather up some funds, rush to the nearest McDonald's. That was like 2 taxis from Harangua, right? And copy paste and copy paste. That was like back in the day when McDonald's just gave us, I think it was 30 megabytes of data. And what I would do is I would just subject to correction. There were days when I was ridiculed. There were days when I was called names that I wouldn't like to repeat. But the softer names are the likes like crazy, toilet guy. Yeah, those are the softer ones. Then there are the harsher ones that, yes, I still need to. There were days when I was comfort myself with. I lost a lot of relationships along the way. I had to sacrifice a lot of opportunities along the way. I managed to study, yes. I have been to, I've done business management and advanced entrepreneurship with University of Pretoria. I've done a project management course with Ivy Business School in Spain. I've attended innovation courses at Stanford. I'm currently completing an eco-management degree with NISA. And I've received recently a scholarship to business software engineering. But there were other opportunities that I received, which, because of the passion I had to make the business succeed, I couldn't dedicate enough time to my studies, and I had to forfeit those opportunities. My father, which I hardly talk about, because my mother and father have been divorced ever since I was 3, so he wasn't really a part of my life. But he's a very successful academic. He's a policy developer, or at least was. And his expectations of me were very high. My mother is a school teacher. My uncles are doctors. My uncles are engineers. So going the path of inventions and dreaming and business was a bit taboo in my space. But my grandmother and my grandfather, so were my pillar of strength. My grandmother, having brought me up as a devoted Christian, has always speared me to the Bible. And she always said, the shortest distance between a problem and a solution is between the floor I only had the scholarship. I had to raise the accommodation funds and the funds that were required to live. And I remember it was to the tune of 10,000 US, and I had to raise that in six weeks. I received the scholarship to do an MBA. Within the first week, I only had $2,000. So I was subject to lose that. And I remembered my grandmother's advice. I prayed about it. The next day, I got a call from a gentleman called Bafuse Yabo. Bafuse Yabo told me, Basika, I seen the newspapers that you're raising money to go attend this course in the US. Why are you struggling so much when there are so many people who can assist you in the country, especially in the city of China? And I didn't know what he was talking about. He then told me, just send an email to this particular email address and see what happens. I sent that email. 2 days then after, I got a response. The person who I got to then told me, call the people in the US, tell them everything is settled. They should just send their bank details. He then told me, just send an email. This is just one of the incidents that the testimonies I have with the relationship with God. You will be tested left, right, and center in this journey. Mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, economically, materially, spiritually, holistically. You need to know thyself if you want to go upon this path. It's hard, but the rewards are worthwhile. I can definitely concur to that. What I have managed to accomplish within this journey, at least financially, I do not believe I could have been remunerated otherwise in any other occupation. It's hard, but if I had been told what I would have to go through in order to do that, had I known what I know now, I'm not sure if I would have made this journey. But by the grace of God, I do my best and He does the rest. Needless to say, I could go on and on, but I think I've covered the gist of my journey, my relationship with the city, and my envisaged relationship moving forward. I don't do this for the fame or for the publicity. I do this because it has to be done. You need to understand that when you go on such a journey, you need a why. Why are you doing this? If it's for the money, there are other ways of making money. Trust me. But if you have a purpose, between you and I, this is not just a purpose, this is my purpose. We are losing a lot of water as a country. We are facing a looming water crisis. By the year 2030, our water consumption might exceed availability. If you think we have an energy crisis, think again. At least we have solar. At least we have other means of generating energy. When we have no water, there is no instant powder to make water. This is why I do what I do. I need to do my part for this city, for this province, for this country, for this continent, and anywhere else where water is concerned of generating. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lisolang. Are there questions for Maseka?
Touched about what you said because I can relate to praying and everything. So thank you so
much. I don't often get to talk about the technicalities. So yes, what happens is it's a retrofittable device that you insert into cisterns. Okay, so it controls the water flow, it detects the leaks, and it stops the water from flowing. Right. So that's the basic concept behind it. And obviously, depending on the size of the leak, we can then project how much water is saved. I don't know if you get to talk about the technicalities, convert that to the money. So yes, what happens is, so that's how the product works. I must say, so it controls the water flow. As much as I've mentioned that it's patented in South Africa, through the support of the likes of the retail company we're working with, we managed to patent it in 40 other countries, right? And that also brought a need for follow-up technologies. So we are currently working on a Vision 2030. So we have a pipeline of innovations supporting that and other sectors. So the different models that we have of that technology has to do with the different types of toilets that are available, and also moving into the fourth industrial revolution as well. So that's the concept or the bare technicalities, but there's other components that support the product with the follow-up technologies. So we have a pipeline of innovations. As a matter of fact, I thought your question would say, how did you, without the technical background, manage the technology? But yeah, I guess maybe it was tacit. I work with quite a few engineers in my team.
By the way, you went at Absa Bank at some point.
Oh no.
Where did you went?
Oh, okay. I tried working for just after matric. I was here at Total Sports. And further on to the opportunities I lost. So Total Sports gave me business administration leadership and to be one of the Foshini group executives. And I had to sacrifice that to focus on my PhD. And then another job that I tried out, I became a consultant. Considering the business background just after matric, I was a consultant. That was a span for like 1 year, and yeah, Dlamini himself could see that, okay, buddy, in Setswana they say, like we cannot be two chiefs in that, or two bulls in that project, you know, so go do your thing, And then I was approached by the Global Water Partnership Southern Africa, and I was given the portfolio of coordinating the youth in 16 in the SADC member states with innovation, job creation, industrialization, and innovation. So, yeah, those are the three stunts that I tried with in the job market. I don't think I'm employable. I tried.
Great stuff. Let's give Paseka. Oh, there's a hand over there.
Yes, sir.
I'm just wondering, obviously you realized that there was a certain problem. I'm interested as to your creative process to finding a solution to that problem.
Thank you for that question. I don't think I'm employable. I try. I'm the type of person that doesn't complain. If it has to be, it's up to me. So I'm solution oriented. The amount of time you would take to complain about a situation, if you were to take the same amount of time to apply your mind to how to resolve that, you'd be amazed. But thank you for that question. A simple test is if you were to be given, they call it the brick test. I think some of you might be familiar with it. How many use cases can you develop for a brick? Just a brick. If I give you 3 minutes, I wonder how many you would come up with. Yes, the basics we building, apply your mind to get more creative with that. So that alone, it opens you up to the possibilities of how you can use a brick. The same applies with my solution oriented thinking. There are so many problems, I won't have enough time to solve. And that's one of the things that keep us going. We identify a problem, at least I personally apply my mind to the various ways of how to solve it. Some are crazy, some are pragmatic, and some are in between there where we call innovative. And that's where we start honing in. there are so many problems. Team and I won't have enough time if we produce something. And that's one of the things that does that answer your question? We identified a problem. Yes, I personally apply my mind to the various ways of how to solve it. Some are crazy, some are pragmatic.
I wanted to follow up on this question, the other one that asked about the mechanics. I heard you talking about pipelines and the technology behind innovating it. My question is about that innovation. Do you venture in going into other fields like agriculture and construction?
Thank you for that. So, yes, as part of that's the short answer. Yes, we do venture into other sectors. So, the longer version, as part of our Vision 2030, we have identified strategic sectors which need our intervention, and we have the capacity to develop solutions for that sector. So, the WEF nexus, water, energy, food nexus, is a space where we are currently involved in. So yes, agriculture, because agriculture is one of the largest water consumers, so they need our intervention. So we start developing around that. Food, there's also going to be a food shortage. So given the growth, the population growth, at least projections, so we need to make sure that water is well sustainable in that sector as well, and mining sector as well. So needless to say, we also have some limitations, especially from a resource perspective. So we also need to use as wise as possible with the limited resources that we have, and through our intervention and such acknowledgement, we can then increase our resources to tap into other sectors that need our attention. So needless to say, we also have some limitations, especially from a resource perspective. So we also need to use wise as possible.
All right, colleagues, just before I ask you to come here at the front to take a group photo with the MMC before she leaves, I just want to point out a few things. Paseka, one of the things, a question that you asked about the usage of a Paseka. One of the things that Paseka asked about the usage of a brick, being born in the 80s, I could tell you multiple uses. We didn't have cars, we used bricks as cars. When we were doing is throw a brick. So we had multiple purposes for it. Thank you very much. If you were weaving a kilt today, based on the stories that are being shared, they're almost the same. Vanessa and Paseka, I think they're meeting for the first time today, but their story is almost the same if you listen very attentively. Paseka spoke about being unpopular at home because of decisions that he needed to make. As I said, you need to be bold in taking your decisions. If you need at some point to pray, if needs be, you need to be a person who's of strong heart, who's of thick skin, because the world is not kind. So I think those are some of the lessons that I draw from stories such as the one that Paseka and Vanessa have shared. And I am hoping that you will also draw similar lessons. As he has said, his background is not engineering, yet he found an engineering solution. So it does not mean that because you're going to be a medical doctor, you can't find, you can't invent. Dr. C. Fularune from UP. He's an ENT professor in South Africa. In fact, he's a world-renowned ENT specialist. Yet he came up with an invention that has changed how the world views ENT as a profession. So let's look at that. Look at innovation opportunities as you are continuing to study your programs. Can I ask you colleagues just for a moment, let's come to the front and we'll take a group photo, then we'll go to part 2 of our program. We are running behind schedule. We will try to finish at least by 12:15. Just a quick group photo before MMC leaves us. So let's look at that. Look at innovation opportunities as you are continuing Okay, Mr. Van Zyl, can I ask you to come to the podium and officially thank the MMC before she leaves? Okay, Mr. Van Zyl, can I ask you to come to the podium and officially thank the MMC before she leaves? She'll organize it later.
Let's settle down. SIPO Program Director, thank you very much. As is indicated, I'm Bertus van Zyl. I'm the acting group head for the department for this period now. Just want to acknowledge MMC, the brain. MMC and myself had numerous discussions when we did preparations for public participation in the strategic plans of the city last year when they entered in terms of the new administration. I said to you this morning, you know, we're so used to be online that we don't know each other. We see faces, we see a picture, but we don't recognize as we carry on and as we age and get more, I think, exposed to the challenges that the city faces and which the country is facing as well. So MMC, the brain, we want to thank you. Appreciate your time that you've made available. We know you're under pressure in terms of your own responsibilities as a member of Mayoral Committee for Social Development, but we appreciate your time that you've assigned to us today to come and motivate these young people. We do appreciate that. And then just for the youngsters here, SIPO talked about getting a trick in 1997. I got it in 1982, 40 years ago. And yes, it was completely different those years. But what I heard from you is that your commitment, hard work, but I'm also seeing that you had the support of families. And MMC talked about support and mental health. You're entering now a phase in your life where you're going to be exposed to a lot of challenges, a lot of new things that are going to pull you away from your studies, but have your support structures intact. Make sure that you've got support wherever you are. Melissa, I think in terms of what you've indicated, also the support from your family that actually took you through the difficult times. So I just want to honor you guys. You've made great strides. Well done in your results, and all of the best for the future as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Van Zyl, and thank you very much, MMC Debrain, for the time taken to be with us and enjoy the rest of the day. I know that you have a very difficult task of ensuring that our community is serviced. Thank you very much. All right, colleagues, now we are getting to the fun part of our session. We want to now tap into your brains for a moment. We are part of a department that looks at innovation in the city. And everything that we do is based on suggestions coming from either employees of the city or members of the public, but it's mostly informed by what is contained in the IDP. An IDP is an integrated development plan that the city develops for every administration. So we go out consulting members of the public on what their interests are, and then we develop progress thereafter. So now, in trying to figure out what kind of innovative initiatives can we come up for the city, we spent the whole of last year crafting what would be a strategy for the city of Tshwane for innovation. Now, in trying to figure out what kind of innovative initiatives can we come up for the city, we spent the whole of last year. So, as I said, part of the work that we were doing last year was to craft what would be an innovation strategy. We are probably the first city or what the leading city in the whole country in driving innovation programs. So there is a little exercise that I would want us to do just after Isaiah has given us a presentation, where we want you to at least poke a bit of holes on some of our like on our thinking pertaining to our innovation strategy. So remember, we wrote this document, we are so intimate, but maybe there are things that we have missed that are addressing interest of young people. But Isaiah will be able to give you a background of how we came about it, and then we're hoping that maybe let's spend about 10 minutes. We'll ask you colleagues to engage us in conversation based on the document that we've created, and that some of your ideas will find interpretation in some of the programs that will be running in the next years. Maybe in 5 years down the line, you might see your idea being implemented, and you can say you worked with Sipo and Tato. Mr. Engelbrecht, may I ask you to come to the podium and also just give us a high-level presentation on innovation in the city. Based on the document that we've created, and that some of your ideas will find interpretation in some of the programs that will be running in the next. You can see Isaiah's got a strategy, he even has the books. This is a work of a person who's got a strategy at hand. May I ask you to come to the podium and also just give us a high-level presentation on innovation in the city. Based on the document that we've created, and that some of your ideas will find interpretation in some of the programs that will be running in the next. You can see Isaiah's got a strategy, he even has the books. This is a work of a person who's got a strategy at hand.
You can see I'm the old topic in the team. I have to be reminded before I come and speak what I have to speak on. That's meant to be a joke. You can laugh. On a more serious note, yeah, it was interesting having everyone present and hosting you here. It's so awesome. In Morunga, I had to remind myself because we have Palesa and Paseka, and my tongue, I said I mustn't twist it and say Pasela because it's so close, and and I had to memorize and make notes here for myself. But I just want to share some thoughts with you around the City of Tshwane's innovation strategy, and then end off just with a few words of my own to you guys. I think, I'm not sure, when you came to the city, is this what you expected, or did you expect this old building with doors fall off, and everyone is working, and it's just officials, or we're not working? Did you expect this or something else? Honest, I mean, we're not recording also. Did you have this in mind, you guys? Not at all. I think, I'm not sure. Yeah, we often hear this as this innovation team, that we need to put in more work around our communication, and I think to that effect, if you look at our innovation strategy, and Tato said you'll give some more detail around it, we're saying we need to position the city as the most innovative city in South Africa and out into the continent. Now, we can debate that, and we may say, but how can you make this claim? Various reasons. I think if you look at, firstly, what the city hosts, the number of SMEs is over 134 in the state. But you may not know this, the city of Tshwane is the host of the most innovative square mile on the continent. What that means, the concentration of innovative organizations, the University of Pretoria, Innovation Hub, CSIR, Technology Innovation Agency, NRF, and the list goes on, concentrated, can actually produce significant innovation in South Africa. But I doubt whether we get it out yet, but I think with this team and many others, we're working together to get it right. One of my personal challenges, or as you young people would call it, beef, I have is that between the Innovation Hub and the University of Pretoria, there's a gate. You can't go from the hub to the varsity, and the varsity you can't go to the Innovation Hub. And I think the nature of innovation, knowledge has to flow. And when we were at the Innovation Hub last week, I raised it again. And I think these are some of the things that we need to set up and get implemented correctly, so that we have more and more Pasekas and Palesas in South Africa. I'm sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but I'll get there. Because we need many, many solutions. And that bold claim of the innovation capital is surrounded by 5 key pillars that Tato will elaborate on. And we think it's achievable. Looking at the people and the institutions here, I'm sure you have doubts, or do you think it's achievable? Anyone wants to venture on a response? We think it's achievable. Thank you. But from what you hear in the news, it's very different to this claim that we are making. And I'm not sure whether colleagues shared, last year we won 2 awards as the City for Innovation. The one is where we were recognized by the SA Innovation League as having a structured innovation that complied to the ISO standards. Now people say, how do you win this award, but you have so many challenges in this place, we hear about water, etc. And we say, yes, it's true, but the recognition was really for how we set up innovation. And we'll be the first to tell all of you, it needs to be scaled. We need to scale it so that everyone plays a role and we can actually produce and implement solutions at scale. Now, I want to ask you why you enrolled to study, but I think perhaps it has to do with becoming an educated person. And if I were to ask you what's an educated person, it would be interesting, but we don't have the time to go there now, Sipo. But quite often we say an educated person is someone that acquired an abundance of expert or general knowledge. If that's the case, then I would ask you why we have 34% unemployment rates, whereas many of those are graduates and even PhDs. Perhaps there's a definition that has to go beyond that. And I'm open to be challenged on everything here that I say. I like this definition by Napoleon Hill, where he says an educated person is someone that developed the faculties to go after what they want without violating the rights of others. That tells me that Palesa, you and Paseka, you are educated people. But in the system, it's not recognized as such. We don't see the implementers and the people that came up with solutions and go on this very difficult journey that we just listened to. It's a lonely space and there's no recognition. Part of our job is to bring this message to many platforms. And I'm sharing this with all of you as you are studying. And then hopefully you're not thinking of studying and going into a job. There's a place for that. But if you have a flame inside, take it serious, because it could be a sign that you are destined for much more. My son just completed his architecture studies at the University of Pretoria last year. He's at home, he submitted, at this stage, probably close to 100 CVs. But I say to him, yes, you have to get an internship, you have to learn from others. I think experiential training is very important. But I asked him, what can you do? Start a business, fail. Just fail forward. You're young, you'll always have a space here in the house and something to eat. Now's your time to fail. And he came with some suggestions. Now he wants to go for a drone license, and I encourage them. Even if my kids have a strong enough case not to study, I will listen to them, but they must have something valid that they want to do. So I'm saying this to all of you that beyond your studies, I don't know where exactly you are now, what year, and what your plans are. But just think broader around the solutions that we need to bring to this nation. If you listen to the president last night, we have many challenges, and it needs all of us. It really needs all of us. So, with that said, if you, I'm almost there. Am I taking too long, or I give me another 3 minutes? Around the solutions. If you look at the unemployment problem, I would argue that our unemployment problem is a function of productivity, and productivity is a function of lack of creativity. Because if you are creative and you recognize your own idea, there should be theoretically no reason why you are not productive. because you have some solution that you have to work on. And you've heard from the speakers before me how that works. And I think that's what we have to do. It's proven in South Africa, we have a very low creative output. There's a lot of input to the system. We get the funds and the education and the varsities and you name it, but we don't produce much with these. Our innovation efficiency as a nation is very low, but we need more of us to rise up. I often ask myself this question. In 2020, when we went into lockdown and we didn't know what to do, as we were lost and we were experiencing this online working thing for the first time, by June, July that year, 5.2 million new millionaires were added to the database of millionaires globally. What were they doing? Were they also sitting like us behind doors, or were they creative and bringing out 5.2 million new millionaires? You can research the number. It's a high number. So sometimes we sit and we don't realize, and I also have people that say during that time, they came up with the best concept that they could implement. But let me end. I know we're running against time here. I want to just say, in your own pursuit, if you want to adopt the definition of Napoleon Hill that says that the educated person is someone that acquires the faculties to go after what they want, there's perhaps one process that you need to take serious, and that's your own ideas. Ideas come from a very deep place. What typically happens, the very short version of this, we would go around over years, listen to a lecture, our parents, using all our senses, smell, hear, see, you name it. Then collect bits of information. And it's defined as, you know, when there's information that flows in our minds, and they say our brain is so powerful that it processes up to 400 billion different processes, and we're only aware of 3,000 at any given time. So there's a lot happening. That same bits of information in our minds flows at speed of up to 428 kilometers per hour. Now here's what happens. When those bits of information, hunches it's called in the innovation world, when there's an accident, literally a collision, there's an aha moment. Has anyone ever had an aha moment here? No one. So there's a lot happening. A light bulb moment, aha moment. Only one, two people, no one? Okay, maybe it's still coming. Maybe it's still coming. But collect, use your hunches, collect the information. And with that, when that aha moment comes, here's what I want to leave you with and encourage you to say, take it very seriously. Know that it comes from a deep place and develop, incubate that thought, that idea in your mind, knowing that it's not something that just came in a moment, it happened over a number of years. It could be the solution, collect information, but don't develop it in your head, in your mind. You have to give birth to it, and we call that a brainchild. Now that brainchild is a baby, give it a name, nurture it. But quite often what people do, they give birth to this brainchild, but it's too difficult, like was said earlier here, and they walk away. Would your parent walk away from you? No. Don't walk away from your brainchild and your brainchildren. And value your aha moments. They say don't live in a fantasy world. I say live in a fantasy world. Dream, because that's how everything we see has been created. Don't count your chicks before they hatch. Count them, because you believe that will be the outcome. And I think that's how we come together and fix many of the challenges. Let me go before Sipho pulls me off the platform. Thank you, colleagues. And value your aha moments.
Aha! Eureka, as the Greeks would say. Right, Tato, I know that we need to finish by 15:15, because your transport will be here at 15:15. But I want to ask Tato to come, and then we're just going to do that little exercise with him, and then we should adjourn at least by 10 past or so. Then Morunga will close off officially. Eureka, as the Greeks would say. Right, Tato, I know that we need to finish by 15:15, because your transport will be here at 15:15. But I want to ask Tato to come, and then we're just going to do that little exercise with him, and then we should Okay, thank you, colleagues. You can just sit down. Murunga will come and just give a vote of thanks. But before we close, as I said, we often get so caught up in writing these documents, but we don't maybe do a mirror exercise. I normally say the best consultant that I have every morning is my mirror. After taking a bath, I stand in front of a mirror and say, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the hottest of them all? And then the mirror will say, you. And then I leave my house. When I get to the office, the first thing the lady say, you're looking beautiful. So now they are affirming what the mirror said when I left. So the strategy when we write it, the reason Tatu was doing this exercise, we wanted you to look at it and say, is your thinking correct? Perhaps that's a question that I can ask anyone here on the floor. Is our thinking correct? If we were to do anything different, what would that thing be? Just, you can sponsor your views. Criticize if you wish to, and criticism helps us to do better. Anyone that wants to maybe have a view on these 5 points, as Tatu has said, it's a story that we're trying to narrate. And that story will be translated into programs. And those programs must bring value. Do you understand? We must say if we've invested R1 in this thing, did that R1 create a job? Did that R1 create a person like Balisa? Imagine had we not spent time to think about that program, Balisa would probably be sitting behind a desk now, crunching numbers, probably being frustrated by all the men that she was managing in that company. But it gave her a broader view of the world. She's now writing books about financial management for kids. You understand? So the scope now is even broader. I now take that R1 that we invested at the beginning as 10 rands because it has multiplied. As Isaiah said, we count our chickens before they hatch. Whether it's going to be a scrambled egg or it's going to be a chickling, it's going to be something at the end of the day. So what is it that we think we could have done differently, colleagues? Or is our thinking correct? Do you think as a young person, this will help change how we view? How much?
Just one thing that I noticed a lot of the points is that you focused a lot on digitalization. I'm just curious to know how you intend to make digitalization reliable in a country where currently it is not necessarily reliable.
That's a question that I think Tatu we need to note. Because if you say we are digitizing our processes, we know that we have an infrastructure that is insufficient at this point in time. Maybe I'll take that as a question that we need to think about as we go forward to say, how do we bring in that element? Yet it is such an important element in how we want to grow as a country. I'll take that as a point. Great stuff. Another idea to note, because if you say we are digitizing our process, maybe something that you picked up when you were going through those points. Insufficient at this point in time. Maybe I'll take that as a question that we need to think about as we go forward to say, how do we bring in that element? Yet it is such an important element in how we want to grow as a country. I'll take that as a point. Great stuff. Another idea to note, because if you say we're digitizing our process, maybe something that you picked up when you were going through those points. Insufficient at this point in time. Maybe I'll take that as a question that we need to think about as we go forward to say, how do we bring in that element? Yet it is such an important element in how we want to grow as a country. I'll take that as a point. That's a question. Another idea to note. The city. Are we leaving other people behind? Just like as Tato said, majority of the employees that are working in the city are blue-collar workers. When we come up with these things, are we leaving them behind? Are we making provision for them to also contribute? Similarly, even members of our communities. When we come up with these new innovations, so-called digital, are we also bringing them along? Are we making it convenient for them to still interact with us? So it's a very good question that we're asking, which helps us to reflect on ourselves, to say, can we get processes parallelly while we are also, and capacitating them to move with, the new wave. Tato? When we come up with these new innovations,
did something here, definitely. Good afternoon officially, and it has been a great pleasure hosting you. I told Balisa this morning when she came, and I'm like, literally, you grew in front of our eyes, because like she said, she started as a learner, and every time we get feedback from her and we hear the successes and achievements that she's going through, as well as with Basika, it's the same thing. And I really hope that you as students starting your new journey in your studies, we have somewhat inspired you, just to kind of give you an overview of what the city is able to do. That in the midst of us being able to give service delivery, but we are also a city that cares about our community, particularly our youth. We've got great youth and innovative initiatives that we would like for you to one day be able to speak on out there when you're out there speaking about the city. You know what it's like to be in local government. I think 90% of the time they focus mostly on the negative things that are happening or unable to happen, as opposed to all the other positive things that are happening. And we are grateful to the entrepreneurs and innovators such as Balesa and Basika and many others that are able to go on the different platforms and speak on these great supportive and inclusive initiatives that the city does. Part of the reason that we gave you insight to the strategy document and wanted to engage in it with you, it's so that we can go back, like Sipho said, and be able to plow back into the strategy, the minds and thoughts of the young people. We might be in the innovation space, we will not know everything, and we are able to stand here boldly and say we are willing to listen to anyone, young, old, from any background, male or female, and we want you to know that this is home for you. This is your municipality. For us to be able to give what is intended, we need you to support us, but we also need you to form part of the initiatives that we put out there. It would be great that you get our contact details so that at any moment in your lives, it could be in your first year, it could be later on when you're done with your studies, you know that there is an innovation space, there is a youth space in the city of Tshwane where you are able to come through and be able to speak to us and say, I would like to engage you on these, and how can you support and help me, because that is what we are all about. Despite service delivery, we are making sure that we are supporting our communities as best and as far as we possibly can. And we would like for you to be able to take this opportunity to make it work. It might not be for you, it might be for your sisters, it could be for your nephews and nieces, even for your parents. But we are just saying the opportunity exists. Please grab it with both hands and make sure that this relationship does not end here. Like I said, she grew right in front of our eyes. Let it not end here. Thank you very much, and it was a great pleasure to be able to host you. You have inspired us. The MMC was quite impressed with Balesa and Basika, and also listening to how you guys managed to form part of the group that is here. And these are the things that make our lives a little easier when we are working. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and let this be the very beginning of a new relationship with you. I'd like to kindly ask you to please leave the document that we've shared with you. Just leave it on the table. We will come and collect it. And also listening to how you guys managed to form part of the group that is here. And these are the things that make our lives a little easier when we are working. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and let this be the very beginning of a new relationship with you. I'd like to kindly ask you to please leave the document that we've shared with you. Just leave it on the table. We will come and collect it. And also listening to how you guys managed to form part of the group that is here. And these are the things that make our lives a little easier when we are working. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and let this be the very beginning of a new relationship with you. I'd like to kindly ask you to please leave the document that we've shared with you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much.
It's been great hosting you, colleagues. Just one last announcement. we will be doing an higher learning innovation challenge. Ne? Look out in your school publications. So it's a competition that we are doing between institutions of higher learning on innovation. So yeah, there's Tax Innovation there. It's an incubation hub at UP. So you can get more information from them, but there's going to be a lot of communication in that regard. Ne? Please participate where possible. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you during our pitching sessions.